everyone, I'm Kinjal Patel, Assistant Professor at LJ Institute of Engineering and Technology in the Department of Computer Engineering. So here is Chapter 3, Parsing Theory Part 1 and Lecture 4. In this lecture, we will learn classification of parsing. So there are two types of parsing. First one is top-down parsing and second one is bottom-up parsing. And in top-down parsing, there are three methods. First one is backtracking, then LL1 parsing, recursive descent parsing. So we will learn two of them in this lecture. First, what is parsing? Parsing is a technique that takes input string and produce output as a parse tree if string is valid, and it generates error message if the string is not valid. So there are two types of parsing. First one is top-down parsing. So top-down parsing parse the input string or generate the parse tree from top to bottom. Means it start with the starting symbol and move toward the input string. And bottom up parser starts from leaves and work up to the root. Means it starts from the input string and move toward the starting symbol. So here is the classification of parsing method. First, parsing is divided into two parts. First one is top-down parsing and next is a bottom-up parsing. Bottom-up parsing is also called as a shift-reduce parsing. Now in top-down parsing, there are two methods. First method with backtracking and second method is without backtracking. Now in parsing without backtracking, there are two methods available. First one is LL1 parser and second one is recursive descent parser. So in first algorithm, in backtracking, this parser doesn't perform left factoring on the grammar. So it is the error and trial version of the parser. Now parsing without backtracking, so it predict the input string without backtracking. So for that, first algorithm is LL1, which is non-recursive type, and second one is recursive descent parser, which is recursive type. In recursive descent parser, we generate the recursive methods for all the non-terminals. So it is called as a recursive descent parser. Now in bottom-up parser, there are two algorithms. First one is operator precedence, second one is LR parsing. The name is LR parsing because the name is LR parsing. In first, L means the leftmost derivation, and the second, in bottom-up parsing, there are two algorithms are available. First one is operator precedence parser and second one is LR parsing. In LR parsing, first L means left to right scanning and R means rightmost derivation in reverse. And there are three algorithms in LR parsing. First one is SLR, second one is CLR, and third one is LALR. So these are the methods in top-down parsing and bottom-up parsing. Now we need to remove ambiguity from the grammar if we use top-down parsing or bottom-up parsing. Ambiguous grammar are not allowed in any of these parsing techniques except operator precedence parser. Only the operator precedence parsing algorithm allows ambiguous grammar. So first we'll start from the backtracking method. So in backtracking, the non-terminal symbol we choose one alternative, and if any mismatch occurs, then we try another alternative. So here is the example. S produced CAD and A produced AB or A. So you can see in second level, in two alternatives there is common prefix. So it will occur the backtracking. So first we'll start from the starting symbol. S produced CAD. Now A non-terminal will be replaced by one of the alternatives, but in input string we want A after C. So what will parser do? Parser will choose one alternative which starts from the A. So here it will select first alternative as it takes the decision from seeing one input only, one character only. So it will select AB. So CAD. Now parser will make prediction and it will take AB as a string. So after generating string CABD, it will compare it with the input string, and here you can see that match has the string we have passed is not matched with the input string, so it will backtrack and check for the another alternative. So here again there is one alternative which starts from A, so it will make prediction and select A. Now again it will compare with the input string. Now match occurred, so parsing done successfully after the string match which we have passed in a parse string. So in backtracking, if there are common prefix in multiple alternatives, then parser need to backtrack. So this method is time consuming as there are 5 common prefix in 2 alternatives, then we need to backtrack 5 times for the same string. So next method is parsing without backtracking. For that, first algorithm is LL1. So LL1 is a predictive parser and which is non-recursive type of parser. In LL1, first L indicates that input is scanned from left to right. Then second L means it uses leftmost derivation for input string, as all the top-down algorithm uses leftmost derivation for the input string. Then 1 indicates the look ahead, means it indicates that only one input symbol is used to predict for the parsing process. Means parser will make the decision by seeing only one input character. Now we'll understand how predictive parsing works and which are the data structure required by predictive parser. First data structure is input buffer. Input buffer is used to store the input string. Then second data structure is stack. Stack is used to store the procedures used by predictive parser. And third data structure is parsing table. We'll construct parsing table from a given grammar. And using these 3 data structures, predictive parsing parse the string and generate the output. So to construct the LL1 parser for a given grammar, we need to perform 5 steps. First step is to eliminate ambiguity from a grammar if there is any. Then second step is to remove left recursion or perform left factoring if it required to. Then third step is to compute first and follow of non-terminals. First and follow are the function which we need to compute to generate the parsing table. Fourth step is to construct the predictive parsing table. Fifth step is to parse the input string using that parsing table. So we'll start it with example. So in a given grammar, first we'll check that is there any ambiguity in a grammar or not. So there is no ambiguity in this grammar as rule of precedence and rule of associativity is maintained in a grammar. So next second step, we'll check for a left recursion. So here we can see that left recursion is present in this grammar, that in first and second level, a first leftmost non-terminal is same as the left hand side. So we need to remove left recursion, and for that in first rule we'll select second alternative as there is no left recursion in it. So E produce T dash, then from E dash we'll select the remaining part of first alternative plus T and E dash for recursion. So plus T E dash or null as the second alternative has been defined in first level. Then in the second rule we'll select second alternative F. So the production rule will be T produce FT dash and T dash produce star F, which is remaining part of the first alternative. So star F T dash or null. And third level as it is, as there is no left recursion in it. So first and second step has been performed. Now in this grammar there is no left recursion and there are no common prefix in different alternatives. So we need not to perform left factoring in this grammar. Then step 2 will be to compute the first and follow of non-terminal. So first we'll understand the rule to compute first of non-terminal. So the first rule to compute first of non-terminal is, if there is a grammar rule A produce alpha and alpha is a terminal, then add alpha to first of A. Means if there is terminal symbol at the first position, then add that terminal into first of non-terminal symbol. Then second rule is, if there is A produce null, then add null to first of A. Means if null is present at the first position of non-terminal, then add that null to first of A. Third rule is, if A produce y1, y2 up to yk and all y1, y2, yk are the non-terminal symbols, then first of y1 means first of non-terminal will be added into first of A. But if y1 does not derive null, so if y1 does not derive null, then first of y1 will be added into first of A. So first of A equals to first of y1. But if y1 derives null, then first of A equals to first of y1 minus null, means we will not include null in the first of A. We will substitute that null with y1. So our y2 will become first of A. So first of y1 minus null union first of y2. We also need to add first of y2 into first of A. And if y1 and y2 derives null, then first of A equals to first of y1 minus null, means we will substitute that null with y1. So y2 will become first of A. So then we will add first of y2 into A. But as y2 also derives null, so we will not add that null into first of A. Rather, we will substitute that null with y2. So y1 and y2 both will be vanished. Then y3 will become our first of A. So we will also add first of y3 into A. And the generalized rule is as follows, like if y1, y2, y3 up to yk all derives null, then first of A equals to first of y1 minus null, and we will replace or substitute that null with y1. So y2 will become first. So we will also add the first of y2 into first of A, and we will replace that null with y2. So y1 and y2 both will be vanished. So y3 will become our first of A. So we will also add y3 by first of y3 but minus null, and we'll substitute that null with y3. So y1, y2, y3 all will be vanished and yk will be first of A. So we'll also add first of yk into first of A. Now the important note is, if all non-terminals derives null, then add null to the first of A. So there are three rules to compute first of non-terminal, which are, if we are finding first of A, then we need to check the production of A. And if terminal is present at the first position of A, then we will add that terminal to first of A. If null symbol is present at the first position, then we will add null to the first of A. But if non-terminal is present at the first position, then we will find first of that non-terminal and will add into first of A. Okay, but if that non-terminal produce null, then we need to find the first of y2 also, and we need to add first of y2 into A. We'll understand it with example. So here is the grammar which is given to us. So we need to find first of E, E dash, T, T dash and F. So first of E equals to, for that we need to check the production of E, which is E produce T dash Now we'll compare this rule with the 3 rule, and this rule match with the third rule, as there are two non-terminal symbol at the right hand side. So it match with the A produce y1 and y2. Now rule 3 says that if there is non-terminal at the first position, then first of T will be added into first of E. First of T will be added into first of E. So for that we need to find first of T. So the production of T is T produce Ft dash, and it also match with the rule 3. So here the non-terminal is present at the first position. So we need to find first of that non-terminal. So to find first of T, we need to find first of F. So first of F, so there are two production of F. First one is F produce E and second one is F produce ID. So we'll check for the first production, as first production match with the first rule, which says that if there is terminal symbol at the first position, then that terminal symbol will be added into first of F. So opening bracket will be added into first of F. Done. Then we'll check for the second production of F, which is F produce ID. So it also match with the rule 1, which says that if there is terminal symbol at the first position, then we will add that terminal symbol to F. So ID will be added to F. So first of F is opening bracket and ID. Now first of T equals to first of F. So first of T will be opening bracket and ID. Then first of E equals to first of T, which is opening bracket and ID. So using this rule, we have found the first of E, T and F. Now the rule 3 says that if there is non-terminal at the first position and that non-terminal derives null, then we need to check for the next non-terminal also. So we need to check that does T produce null. As we can see that T does not produce null, so we need not to check for first of E dash. Same, we'll check for the F, that does F produce null. As F does not produce null, so no non-terminals will be added into first of T. So here we will also manage the first of table of first. So as you can see that first of E, T and F has been found. Now next task is to find the first of E dash. So the production of E dash is plus T dash and null. So first we'll check for the plus T dash, as this match with the first rule that if terminal symbol is at the first position, then that terminal symbol will directly be added into first of E dash. So plus will be added into first of E dash. Then we'll check for the second production, that is E dash produce null. So if there is null at the first position, then that null will be added to the E dash, as it match with the rule 2. So null will be added into first of E dash. So first of E dash are plus and null. Then last we will find the first of T dash. So T dash also have two rules. So first we will check for the star Ft dash. So star Ft dash match with the first rule. So star will be directly added into first of T dash. Then we'll check for the second production, which is T dash produce null. So it match with the rule 2. So directly null will be added into first of T dash. So first of T dash are star and null. Now the next task is to compute follow of non-terminal and to generate the parsing table for this example, which we will learn in next video. Thank you.